if you were reincarnated as some other plant or animal, not a person, a plant or animal, what would it be? Who's picking plant? But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, right. There's no way I'm picking plant. The only lady's like, oh, I just want to have bees come on my head every day.
All right, we're back, Airheads. It's time once again for another stirring rendition of Putting on Airs. I know what I want to start with. We don't have to do this. We can move on because I don't think you intended for me to bring this up publicly. But I just
What's happening?
Okay, we were trying to figure out when we were going to record today via text message, and
no, we weren't trying to figure out. You demanded a time as you do every week. You said this is when we're starting. And by the way, we don't have to do the fucking show at all. I don't need you. Is what Trae said. We can just not fucking do it. Do you think my bank account's going to suffer? I don't give a shit. We're doing it at 3:30, or you can go start a new podcast with Drew. We'll see how that goes.
3:45. But anyway, the rest of that is accurate. But we've got set on 3:45, and we set the time. Okay, we agree, 3:45. Then Corey sends a text that says, and I'm reading this verbatim, and I want you to let me go through the entire exchange before you respond to me, because I'm saying up top, I might
don't even
be
know
stupid.
what I have done here.
I might be stupid. Okay, I'm prepared to be stupid here. You sent a text that said, FYI, I might be problematically stoned because I hate a late lunch. LOL. Now listen. I read hate as a typo. I was like, he means ate. Right. I ate a late lunch is what I thought you meant. So I didn't misunderstand that. But I ate I might be problematically stoned because I ate a late lunch. LOL. I responded to that text specifically, what? And you said, what don't you understand about it? And I said, you quote, hate a late lunch, and so you're stoned. I assume that you mean ate a late lunch, but ... Was this a weed lunch? What does the lateness of the lunch have to do with it? And you said, oh, my bad. I meant I had a late lunch. And that's it. You left it at that. As though any of that answers any of the questions I have. So I'm saying, now that I'm here talking to you, how does having a late lunch make a person too stoned to do a podcast or whatever?
Not too stoned to do. I'm here. I'm here. Okay. Okay. No, it's not you. It's me. I'm reading it back now. It's me. This is one of those things where I assume, to my detriment, every time, that everyone operates in the same world that I do, and it doesn't cross my mind that how I live is insane and is not the default, okay? Because what I want to say to you right now, and what I almost said without thinking, was like, well, yeah, like, you know, you get stoned right before your meal comes out.
Okay.
Like that. That's when I was like, everybody knows that. Like you get, so what happened was, me and my friend, I'm not going to name him because it's fine for me to get like, I don't have, I can get high. My friend and me, we were going to eat at 1. We went to this place to eat at 1. So in my brain, it's like, and I've got the Pendulum with me, because what you do is you put your order in and then you go, okay, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to hit the Pendulum because I know this, it'll be coming out and that'll give me maximum. Especially when I have something to do at 4:15, because I can get a little high and then it will wear off. I'll eat because I don't like to get high unless I'm on a full stomach, or eating when I do it. So I go to do that, but we just noticed that they're barely paying attention to us. Like they didn't even come get our refills, and we could just see this is a new restaurant in Chickamauga, and it's fantastic. But because it's new, it was busy and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, it took us an hour and 40 minutes to get our food. And so And also another thing too, you know what, like
Dude,
in my
an
brain,
hour and 40 minutes?
hour and 40 minutes. Right.
That's insane.
And so the thing is, we had gotten a
At
little
lunchtime on a weekday?
at lunch,
On
brother.
a
And again, I'm not gonna
weekday. I know that
on a
doesn't matter
weekday.
to you as a comedian, but
No,
that's
no, it doesn't.
crazy, dude.
That's now, I will say this, like, again, dude, they're a new restaurant, whatever. The whole place was filled with, and because I want this place to succeed because the food is amazing. The whole place was filled, luckily, with people who, by the attitude of everybody in there, it seemed like they were on the same. There were a bunch of older people in there who was like having a retired lunch, you know. And also, this is Chickamauga's first like sit down restaurant that really has like a full bar. So everybody's kind of just in this like, man, it's amazing we're here, you know. But anyways, we hit a little bit and then we realized our food wasn't coming, and then that would wear off, and it's like you got to hit it again before your food comes. And then naturally, when you go to lunch with a friend and you're in your southern town, you have to get, after lunch, you have to then smoke again and talk about the week's bullshit. Like you save your big stone for afterwards, which normally would have been occurring at 1:45, but for me happened at 2:45. And then you wanted to record at 3:30, which already put my times were fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm obviously fine. It's just that I'm such a good drug taker that I know, like, I do this then and I'll be fine for here. And then us going early and the lunch going late meant that my post lunch stoned was going to carry over into this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Now that you like actually
But why would you
explain
know
all that, it makes perfect sense. But
Yeah.
it's just, again, it's so funny to me that like I get the very first text. I might be problematically stoned because I ate a late lunch, right? That don't make sense, but I can
Of course
get like
not.
how that could happen.
Yeah.
But when I ask it and your response is, what don't you understand about that? And then I explain, and then I explain to you what I don't understand about it. And you say, oh, my bad. I meant to say that I had a late lunch. It's like, it seems like you're fucking with me.
Yeah.
It's like, from my perspective,
a little bit
that is so clearly not the part that I'm confused by. Why are you only acknowledging that part, which is not the confusing part?
Yeah.
But anyway,
well, now that I don't, I'll say this, and thanks to they didn't sponsor this episode, but thanks to our friends at like Mood and stuff, like I don't really drink anymore. And so I sort of treat hits of weed like martinis. You know what I mean? So like used to when I go to lunch, it'd be a wet lunch. It'd be like I'm having 3 to 4 drinks. Well, now I don't do that, but I'm a sinner. So I gotta do something. So I hit the weed or I take a gummy halfway through. And and that timing can legitimately screw my day. And you know me, dude, like y'all have made fun of me before, and you should have. Most of me seems like I would be the sloppiest, just fucking like, unscheduled whatever person, but I actually do have a thing for time. You know, I really do. Like I set times, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And when something screws up what I perceived as how I was going to be able to fit this into my day, I freak the fuck out.
Right. Yeah, no, I know. I hear you. I fucked up. This isn't the same thing, but I just completely disregarded a meeting that I'd agreed to today without meaning to.
Oh, that's fun.
Like because I've only recently, this is how dumb I am. I mean, I knew that it was a thing, but it never occurred to me until recently to start using the do not disturb feature on my phone. Right.
Oh, I've been doing it for years. You know that, right?
No. So like when I'm shooting a video or editing video or stuff like that, and if you're in the middle of filming a video or something and somebody calls you, it fucks the whole thing up. And I'm like, so and I just got mad for years and did nothing about it, which that's my go-to strategy for most things.
And me too, for the record, most of the time.
But only in the past few weeks have I started actually using do not disturb mode. So what happens is I forget to take it off. Right.
No, but that's no. But you'll learn. This is your new normal.
So, and I'm not used to none of that. So like I did that and I didn't take it off yesterday without meaning to. And so all my notifications are silenced, including the notifications that would have reminded me about the calendar, event that I had, which was a meeting. And I didn't get that. And so I was like, on the Peloton, whatever, just living my life, completely oblivious to these people were waiting on a Zoom call for me to show up.
Weren't you happy? Weren't you happy in that moment?
No, I feel like a huge piece of shit.
No. I mean, during though, when you were undisturbed.
Yeah. Being
what I'm
undisturbed
saying is,
is
eventually this thing, you'll get over it. And I wish that I hadn't, but like I found out about Do Not Disturb about 5 years ago. And I've probably lost out on getting close to $100,000 something because I missed a thing. And it's been worth every penny to not, because to not have certain, like, obviously there's some that I missed that I wish I'd have gotten, but there's been so many that, oh, I'm so glad my phone was on Do Not Disturb and I didn't see that. And it's been worth it to me. You know, it's great. But did you know this? This is a tip for you. You can get through to me even if I'm on Do Not Disturb because you're one of my emergency contacts.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
You can set people. So this is what's going to change your life, because now I don't miss important things, because like you don't ever call me. So if you did, it would be an emergency. So I have you that you can block through the Do Not Disturb. Here's the people who are on it. You, my mother, my wife, and Dave Bautista.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like those are, because I'm like, I can't miss those. If those things call me, and obviously a lot of times my wife and my mom, it's some bullshit that I could have, but I don't want to have to, you know, it might be an emergency. But like you do that, select your little interior group and just let them be able to slide through. You'll never take it off as long as you live, and your life will be so improved. I haven't had a spam call. I haven't, none of that shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, it does hit. just got to learn how to navigate them Do Not Disturb waters, I reckon. But I did have, in the midst of all that, I went and checked my Instagram DMs, as I do periodically. And when I say that, I mean like the ones that are from, Instagram. Well, but Instagram groups them into, if you don't follow each other, or you've not corresponded before, they get put in a different folder. Yeah, DM requests that you have to go to, which I literally didn't know that existed for so long. I've known about it. I've known about it for a long time now, but I went a long time without ever knowing that existed, which like is a
means
much
that you
lower
miss
level.
So many hitters.
Yeah, but such a much lower, less hitting level of like T-Pain famously did that, which was hilarious. Like he posted, but he didn't know that folder was there.
His career worked out despite that. Yours could have been better if you had seen some of that.
Well, that's true. By the time T-Pain was even on Instagram, he was already, doing his like streamer phase and whatever else, and having his like third act, like back nine glow up. But anyway, I know about it now, but I still just every now and then I'll just go in there, and by every now and then I say, weekly, every 10 days or something, I'll just go and check it out. And I did that yesterday, and I had a DM from a woman named Anastacia. I think it's actually Anastacia, and it's Anastacia like Prince was Prince. Madonna was Madonna, which that's called a mononym. She is a single word name person, which you got to hit real hard to have a single word name.
I know.
Right. And so, and I wasn't familiar with her initially, but I had a DM, but she had the check mark or whatever. And she was just saying, that I hit for her, basically a very, very lovely message about, whatever,
how much doing,
saying all the right things, and seemed to be a good man and a good dad and all this stuff too. And it was a really nice message, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So then I Googled her, and this phenomenon has come up on the show before. This is the main reason I'm even telling this, because we've talked about this in general. So she's a musician, right? And like, have you heard of her, Anastacia?
When you said that, my brain went, I think I do know a mononym, Anastacia. And obviously I was like, okay, but aside from the Russian oligarch, I know, but then you know what I think it is? I know Fantasia. I know Fantasia.
So She's a musician. She is an American musician. Okay.
Okay.
Who I had not heard of. Anastacia I'm reading her Wikipedia now, is an American singer songwriter who has released 8 albums and sold over 50 million records worldwide, collecting a grand total of 227 gold and platinum certifications around the world.
Bona fide hitter.
So she has sold tens of millions of records and sold out arenas around the entire globe, except for some reason, her home country of the United States. In Europe, in Australia, in Asia, Africa, literally everywhere else.
She's a gaijin.
She's like Madonna, you know?
Yeah, she's a gaijin, yeah.
Like she's fucking huge, right? But in America, it never popped off like that. And I'm just so fascinated by that. So I found that out. And then I went and actually so on Spotify, she's got millions of monthly listeners, all of whom are outside America, I guess. Her top songs have 500 million plays or whatever. And
Did you recognize them?
I didn't know. There was one of them that I was like, I think maybe I've heard this in a movie or something before. Yeah. But the other ones I didn't recognize. But dude, fucking bangers, man. Like they're great. It's like
I have no doubt. What is her style like? Sherish?
It's like very epic and themic, like stadium rock.
That's my jam.
Fucking, dude,
that's my jam.
It's awesome. She's awesome. And
I don't even think she'd be offended by you saying this, which is what's so great.
No, I mean,
I hope that we are introducing her to a lot of people. We're going to get a lot of mail about this because not only do we have people that listen to us outside the United States, but we also have a lot of gay fans who I feel like are more in touch with European stuff. So we're going to get a lot of hate for not knowing this, but I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I know. I thought about whether to even bring it up and if I did, how to, but I felt like since I'm ultimately landing on a place of like, I think she fucking rules. And,
I love this.
And I'm talking, and I'm saying, I'm just saying, I guess I'm just saying I'm fascinated by how nebulous and ethereal everything is when it comes to fame and shit. Because to me, I don't understand. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Right? Me either.
That she wouldn't. If she had global, worldwide hits hit in every other country,
right?
And she is American.
She's from here.
Why would it not also translate to a Billboard hit in this country somehow? There's no rhyme or reason to it. It makes no sense to me at all. But shit just be like that sometimes. But it's like you said, it might even, I was thinking it's like, that might hit harder, really. You're like a global megastar, but you could still walk down the street in your home country.
I think obviously it's like, well, yeah, if you could just snap your fingers and be a global megastar, that'd be great. But like, I really do think that's ideal. And let me put it to you in micro terms. This is macro, right? We'll put it in micro terms. We get that a little bit, and let me explain why. In my hometown, obviously, I went to school with everybody here. That's whatever. But like in the Chattanooga area where I started comedy 21 years ago, I can walk around Chattanooga and never once have anybody be like, "Are you Corey Forrester?" Which, not that I was expect that, but like New Orleans, which is like a famous town where everybody hits there. I like every single time I'm in New Orleans, even if it's not for a show, somebody goes, "Holy shit, are you from the Well-Read? Are you that guy?" New York, it happens to me. North Carolina, like crazy. Like me and I'm not talking about for shows. I'm talking about if me and Amber go for our like. Every time Amber goes, Amber will tell me, she goes, "It's so crazy." She's like, "You never get recognized at the Chattanooga airport, but when we're at any other airport in the whole country, someone always goes," they might not exactly know, but they're like, "You're that guy from that whatever." And I was like, I don't get it either. Like, it's weird, but I got to tell you, it hits. Like, nobody fucking knows me where I actually walk around. But then if I go to another city, somebody buys me a drink. That's a great way to live your life.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I go again, right. I do think that is the upside of it. I do wonder, there has to be a part of you though that also like that wonders the whole time, like, man, what the fuck is, you know what I mean? Like if you're in her position, you're selling 10 million albums everywhere else. But you have to kind of be going like,
Why don't I hit here?
Yeah, like
Right.
what is the difference? And I don't know
Is
what
that John Lennon? I mean, John Lennon said, what was he said? He said a prophet's never recognized in his hometown or something like that. Not to compare us to prophets, but like, but this is a whole country though, which is different. Like that is way different. Like,
let me give you a couple of fun facts because the thing is, she did work here. She blew
had
up.
to start here.
She did, and she blew up everywhere else in like around the turn of the like around 2000. That's when her
Okay,
debut
well, this
album came
makes sense why I don't know who she is because I was unplugged then.
out in 2000.
For pop stuff, yeah. I mean, for a lot of pop stuff, like
I feel like because of my little sister, I was fucking inundated with pop shit.
Well, okay, that's fair. But I was into fucking
pop felt
Oxycontin and
inescapable to me.
Yeah, I was into Oxycontin and Lamb of Death. 9/11, all that.
But obviously she did start here, and here's some little like fun facts for you on that early part of her career. So in 1990, she was hired to sing at Steven Spielberg's wedding. So
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and
what a resume.
In 1992, I think. Shoot, you're gonna love this. I think,
second wedding of Steven Spielberg,
because I love it. No, she was hired to sing at Arnold Schwarzenegger's birthday party. Okay,
dude, hang on. Been the greatest gig ever.
Hang on. Hired to sing.
Get out here.
Yeah, at Arnold Schwarzenegger's birthday party, where he specifically requested that she perform the same song 12 times in a row. And that song was What a Man by En Vogue and Salt and Pepper. Yeah, for fucking what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man, what a mighty, mighty good man. That is fucking hilarious,
dude. Just with I love my stogie. They are telling me how great I am. Dude, what a G.
Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so
okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
So they like her thing. She's like, she's petite, but she got a real big voice, and she did a lot of shit with. So again, she covered En Vogue and Salt and Pepper, and she was on D.L. Hughley's show at the time, and she did backing vocals for Jamie Foxx on his debut album and for Paula Abdul. So like, she sounded black, is what I'm saying.
Of course,
people thought she was. If you only heard her voice, people.
When you said petite with a big voice, I was like, I see where this is going.
Yeah, so she says record labels hesitated to sign her because they didn't know how to market a white woman with a black voice, which to me it's like, isn't that the golden goose that you're always looking for? Like, isn't that what, like, I mean, it's
Justin Timberlake.
She is a woman, but like maybe that's different. But I was like Elvis, and then later Eminem. Yes. Like I always thought the ticket to $1 billion, if you're in the music game in America, was like, find a white person who can make black music, and then you'll just, dude,
Bobby Caldwell, like that's why Bobby Caldwell fucking hit, man. Like, have you seen that video of like Bobby Caldwell talking about dude? Everybody go look it up. Bobby Caldwell's talking about the first time he was like ever live and walking out, and all the black people realizing that he was white. And he was like terrified, but then he hit one note and they were like, all right, let him. Because, dude, I mean, talent, when you got talent, it don't matter. But yes, you're 100% right, dude. Like, there's that scene in the Austin Butler Elvis movie where fucking Colonel Tom goes, he's white. Like, he hears it and knows that it hits. And that's almost enough. And then when he finds out he's white, he's like, okay, well, here we go.
Yeah, so she had a lot of ups and downs with the industry for a long time, a lot of setbacks and stuff. She was on an MTV reality show, not making the band. It was called The Cut, which I don't remember, but it was the same concept, basically. And in 99, she signed a record deal with Epic Records, Sony Music Entertainment's Epic Records. And in 2000, her debut album called Not That Kind came out and reached the top 10 in 8 countries and went 4 times platinum in Europe and triple platinum in Australia. And
she's a pretty gal.
Nothing. That's the other thing too. She's like
real pretty,
smoking hot. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it doesn't seem like you have to have that much talent to get on here.
And I'm telling you, bro, look her up, listen to her. She's got it in spades.
I guarantee you.
Like, she's really good. Bro,
you don't get to be backup singer for the hitters that you just named without being able to torch.
This is one of those things where it's like, I feel like if you're in the like creative pursuits at all, it depends on a matter of perspective in terms of like, I feel like this can make you feel either better or worse. And what I mean is like, it can make you feel better because it's like, well, see, clearly it's just a fucking, crapshoot at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And there's nothing you can really do about it other than do the best that you can or whatever. Or it can make you feel bad because it's like, oh, it's all just a fucking crapshoot at the end of the day. And there's no point in fucking, so it's all a matter of perspective, I guess.
I definitely lean to the first one. I think that when I was younger I think anybody when they're younger leans to the latter of just like, it's all fucking bullshit or whatever. But the older you get and like even though it's been I haven't had the greatest success. I mean, of course, I haven't done every single thing I've dreamed of doing, but like each year that passes, I pay my bills doing this shit. People still come out to see me and I still talking to a can to my best friend. I mean, okay. To me, then I go, it's all a crapshoot. All you really can do is your best. All you can do is like go to bed every night and go, hey, when I woke up this morning, there was a thing that wasn't in this world that was then there before I went to bed. That's the creative process for me. Before I went to bed, a new thing happened in this world because of me. And if you just do that every day, you did your thing. And who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, it's all part of maturing and getting older or whatever. Yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to give her a shout out and say to all our American listeners, if you're not familiar with her already, you should go check it out because she's pretty awesome. But and I just think anytime that ever comes up, it's because in the comedy world there was all like Russell Peters was always like he did like arenas all around the world and could barely do a club weekend here. He eventually he got over here too.
He did, but still,
but there was a long time where he couldn't really sell tickets in America, but was otherwise the biggest comedian in the entire world. And shit like that is just fucking wild to me.
Eric Bana, man, like that dude was a fucking huge, and like it was the opposite. Like we were looking at it from a US point of view, but like me and you only know Eric Bana as like he was the Hulk. He did all that stuff, but he started out as a fucking comic in Australia, and we don't even know that he was a comic, which is crazy. Like that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like he clearly hit This dude started comedy.
Beautiful.
Yes, it helps. And comedy, it's almost like someone went up to him and was like, hey, mate, you're doing comedy, but you're good looking. People don't cotton to that. You should do something else. And it's true. It's like, look, man, if you're good looking, go do one of the other things we can't do, please.
Yeah, but I don't know. Who the hell knows?
Let's take a break.
Yeah, we'll take a break and then we'll do what we promised last week right after this.
Fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something absolutely insane. And I know a lot of you are thinking, like, more insane than chewing something and getting my dick hard immediately? Yeah, because I'm talking about next level championship belt gold-plated energy where you ain't even really got to chew it. It just sort of dissolves under your tongue, and that is Blue Chew Gold. It's the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. This ain't your Papaw's dick pill. Fellas, this is a 4-in-1 beast, and I know a lot of y'all are thinking, I got a 1-in-1 dick pill. I think that's fine. Well, what if it was more of a 4-tool Matthew Stafford level wiener pill? That's the gold standard, okay? We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and your body. Because when your brain and your body are doing it, your wiener is like, hey, Can I make Three's Company too? Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation. This is peak passion, okay? Also, I should remind you, it comes in the mailbox in a white envelope. Nobody has to know what's going on. Not your hot lady mail person, not the lady at the pharmacy, not no lady in your life, not nor man. It's all discreet, doctor prescribed online. You don't even have to leave your house. 15 minutes or less, you get full ignition, okay? Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month with Blue Chew Gold. Had a little hiccup there, but your wiener won't hiccup. And if it did, that'd look cute with code POA. Okay, that's promo code POA. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. BlueChew.com, promo code POA. Get you a new dick. I just did your line, didn't I?
That's all right.
Okay, that's fine. Get your dick, a new one.
Y'all, let's talk about Coast Pay. If you manage a crew, you run your own business, do that type of thing, you got people underneath you. Construction, HVAC, landscapers, whatever you do. If you have people that work for you, you already know. It's hard to keep track of like expenses. You want to give them a card for business related expenses, fuel, materials, that type of thing. But that's a real pain in the neck for you as the business owner. You got to stay on top of what they are and are not spending the business's money on. You got to keep all the receipts. You got to wade through all the paperwork at the end of each and every month. It's a hassle, and the man hours add up. All the time you spend on paperwork, the hidden fees from working with other companies on these accounts. You don't have time for games. You're trying to run a business, do it the best you can. You need to know who's spending what on what, where they do it, and why. And Coast Pay is built for businesses like yours and will give you the control that your old fuel card never did. All right, it's time to switch it up. Because if you haven't changed how you pay for gas and materials, you could be losing tens of thousands of dollars a year to all those hidden costs and the man hours we discussed earlier. Coast Pay eliminates fraud, saves you money, automates all the accounting, does all the hard stuff so you don't have to. And all this is put into one card that can be used anywhere in the world that Visa is accepted, which last time I checked is pert near everywhere. All right?
Everywhere.
For your old fuel card company, your old expense company, they often not that helpful. Get, talk to robots, stay on hold for hours and hours, that type of thing. They don't give you answers. Fees keep piling up. But Coast Pay picks up the phone, solves the problem, toot sweet, keeps you and your business running smooth as eggs. Coast Pay is the modern fuel card and expense management tool built for fleets. It's not software built by somebody who's never run a crew before. Fuel maintenance materials are all on one card now with real control and instant visibility. You can set real-time spending limits for everyone that you give a card to. They're only allowed to spend it on this. They're allowed to spend it on this and that, fuel and materials, whatever the expenses are. They can only spend it on certain days or certain hours of the day. You can determine all that yourself, and Coast will enforce it for you. You see every transaction the moment that it happens. No more end-of-the-month surprises. The fraud protection at Coast actually works. No shared pins or missing receipts, no guesswork. Employees check in by text. Coast verifies the purchase. You stay in control. Your accounting team will thank you. Automatic receipt capture and cleaner data means month end goes from a tedious multi-hour project to a quick review, and you're out the door. Unlike old fuel cards, Coast works everywhere Visa is accepted. Every gas station, every brand, every time. No detours, just to find the one station that takes your card. You can get it done wherever you need to get it done. No contracts, no commitments, just a smarter, simpler way to keep your operations tight and moving. Right now, Coast Pay is offering our listeners free gas for a day. In this economy, that's right, free gas for a day when you get started at coastpay.com/POA. That's COASTPAY, coastpay.com/POA. Go to coastpay.com/POA to get free gas for a day. Terms apply. That's coastpay.com/POA. Disclaimer: the Coast Visa commercial credit card is issued by Celtic Bank. All card accounts subject to credit approval.
I don't want to stay on this. I just have to tell you before I forget. I just went downstairs to pee at my sister's house, and she's been cleaning out her pantry and getting rid of redundancies in her kitchen, like things she has too much of. I just walked past how many crock pots did I just walk past that this is not how many crock pots she has. This is how many crock pots she's getting rid of.
Of varying sizes.
Yeah, but multiple of each.
Oh, I don't know. 6?
9.
That's crazy.
9 that she was like, I guess I got to get rid of these.
That's bananas.
She's like, I don't know. I just
There's
like,
in the South or the Midwest, middle part of the country, especially small towns, like people don't realize how good they got it in terms of like space.
Yeah.
Like fucking when you move to the coast where
you couldn't have that.
Fucking space is incredibly expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like a regular house for a regular family to live in cost over $1 million fucking dollars. You get rid of shit pretty quick because you literally don't have nowhere to put it.
Of course.
So because Katie's, I've never been inclined that way and whatever into that hoarder persuasion.
When it comes to cooking, I know how to do everything on 3 different things, and so I just stick to that. You know,
Katie is very much from a family of people. They're not her family members are not. Well, she's got one family member that.
Well, you don't waste. I understand
borderline a hoarder. But my in-laws are not like they're not hoarders, but they like. I mean, they don't get rid of shit. You know what I mean? Like nothing. Like
do you think some of it is
like they got a big house and a big basement and all this stuff, or whatever else, and they just keep shit for forever. So Katie's like, she's got that in her, I think. But living in Los Angeles, it's like you just it beats some of that out of you, at least some of it. Have
you heard of
there's nowhere to put stuff?
Have you heard of Swedish death cleaning?
What? No.
Swedish death cleaning. So it is this philosophy, basically, of organizing your house to where basically it's this philosophy of like you have to let go of any sentiment whatsoever. Like like most of our hoarding tendencies, even people who aren't traditional hoarders, because I'm not a hoarder. You know me. You'd know if I was. But I do have these tendencies because, like, for instance, if my mama got me a shirt for Christmas, I don't care what time in my life, if I remember that my mama got me that shirt, even when I grow out of it, even when it's got holes in it, I can't throw it away. I can't do it because my mama got that for me. Now, here's the deal. Ask my mama if she gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Not at all. My mom don't even remember giving me that shirt. It don't matter. But in my brain, I really do associate it with like, if I throw that shirt away and my mom doesn't see me wear it, she'll be like, I guess he doesn't like that shirt or whatever. Anyway, Swedish death cleaning is basically this ideology that you get into, and I could be getting this wrong, but I read it 5 years ago when I was high. It's basically like you clean your house and you have the mindset the whole time while you're cleaning it of, if I wouldn't leave this to somebody in my will.
Yeah, that's exactly how you should think about it.
Get rid of it. Like, get rid of it. Like, get rid of it. Like it's a step past I don't use this anymore, because there's some things you don't use it anymore, but maybe it's nice and you'd like your kid to have it. But if I don't use it anymore and I wouldn't leave it as an heirloom, get the fuck rid of it.
That's exactly how you should look at it.
Agreed.
And I've heard other people point this out because it's true. As soon as you go through it, you're going to have this thought. A couple years ago, I had to clean out the house that I grew up in Salina, because everybody was fucking dead. Right? And me and Paige had to clean out the house that we grew up in. And going through that process, you just realize, like, what the fuck is all this shit? Why is any of this here? And you start, and it really is. And it's not.
But
like,
you don't know.
I didn't hold this against either my dad or my mama or anything in the moment. But what you're doing is you're just
leaving a burden,
you're leaving a bullshit ass burden that no one wants to deal with. You're leaving that to your children and grandchildren and shit.
You are
in the future, because that's exactly how it ends up working out. Because dude, we fucking all that shit that my mama held on to for decades, we threw it all away because there wasn't. I mean, not literally all of it, but I'm not kidding. In that whole house, I shipped to myself in Southern California one like plastic tote, just like a standard. That is the amount of stuff that I kept from that entire house fit in one fucking plastic tote. And Paige kept maybe twice that, but even all of that out of everything else went into a fucking dumpster that we rented out front. And it's like,
I kept my grandmother's piano. That I kept her piano. I mean, There was two or three tiny little knickknacks, but for the most part, it was like the only reason I would want any of these is because it reminds me of Granny, and I can get that done with 4 things. So we'll just do that.
Thinking about right now, which fucking.
Oh, bro, I'm worse than you.
God willing, it's a long, long, long way off. But like whenever, if we have to go through that process at like the house Katie grew up in. Dude,
oh God, we'll just burn it.
It's gonna be.
You know what I mean?
It'll take fucking weeks.
Well, you got to
luckily her and her sisters, never argue.
I was about to say, like, all you
agree about it.
You know what I do whenever this is all you got to do, and I know hopefully Katie's not listening to this episode, but this is what I do.
She will be.
Yeah, whenever a thing comes up, like within where my wife is like, "Hey, in a couple months we have to do this thing," I just immediately call Val and go, "Hey, can you get me something on March 10th?" Because Amber will be like, "You can't turn down money." And so I'll be like, fuck, I got to go to Boise. So like, just have yourself something to do and let them fucking do it. But I mean, me, dude, I'm so into antiquities. Like I love them. And dude, bro, my son, like, I hope he has the wherewithal to
antiquities, dog. We're talking about shake weights and big mouth Billy Basses and stuff like that. Fucking 40 years of that shit.
But that becomes antiquities. That's how antiquities are born. The only reason antiquities hit hard is because someone held on to them. Mm-hmm. And you might have that. It's what with they thought that the Beanie Babies were going to be antiquities. You know what I mean? My point is like, but okay. Here's another point though. You could walk around my house and grab certain things and go, there's no way this means anything to him. But if you were to ask me, I might go, that I got that this day that me and my friend who hadn't talked in a while were out and we were at an antique shop and he bought that for me because he thought the guy in the left corner of that page looked like me. And that's why I held on to it, because every time I saw that, it reminded me of this moment. We don't know what people care about. But we do need to stop caring so much because, look, we're all going to be shot in the face by a Gestapo agent in this country. So we need to sell our stuff and hoard money and Bitcoin, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, with that said, let's look further into the mind of a Cho. Going to ask him the questions he asked me last week because I said last week that I would do that. And so that's what we're going to do. If you listened... I feel like if you're listening to this episode, you probably listened to the last one. It was just literally the one immediately preceding this. But if you're a brand new listener and you don't know, last week, Cho asked me the James Lipton's questions that he ended every interview with on Inside the Actor Studio, which turns out he stole from a French journalist and interviewer named Bernard Pivot.
Bernard Pivot.
And they differ a little bit. So just like Cho did, I'll just ask both versions of every question. Starting with the first one, Corey, what is your favorite word?
So my favorite word, I go back and forth on this a lot. Me and my friend who I just had lunch with earlier, we used to ask each other this question all the time. And both of us landed on a co-op favorite word when we were younger, which was fiery. I love the word fiery. Fiery.
Fiery, I was just about to do that. For some reason, it begs to be said in that accent. For some reason,
and that's why it has lasted for me.
A fiery temper.
Oh, she's a fucking fiery lass. I love fiery, but also a word that there's a lot of words that people don't like because of the way they make them feel that I like because I think of it in terms of food, like moist. I don't hate that word.
I know. I mentioned moist. I
mentioned
moist at this part. But actually, I mean, I agree with you because if you're talking about like a cake, if you're talking about a cake, like
I think about a cake. I don't think about no fucking old lady's pussy, know,
like socks. Yeah, wet socks is the worst thing in the world.
Right, but when I hear
it's
moist,
so funny because I say that and I mean like I'm walking around in my socked feet and I didn't know that an ice cube had fallen onto the floor and has since melted. And I step on that and I'm like, oh, my day is ruined.
Yeah,
and
not like
our great papa's got trench foot to march fucking 1,000 miles in wet socks.
You'll die.
Yeah. His fucking feet just rotted off and shit.
I know it's so
And I'm over
funny.
here like, oh, I know it's awful, isn't it?
Dude, the first time I watched Forrest Gump and Lieutenant Dan was like, change your socks. I was like, yeah, because it don't hit. Like
Right.
if your feet are wet, not that you would, it was, give you pneumonia, you'd die. But yeah, but when I think of moist, I think of like a poke cake with Eagle brand poured in it. And like that really hits for me. And like custardy. I love that word because it not only custardy is a texture of food, but it also sounds like how a dumbass would talk about getting his kids back. Custardy. You know what I mean?
Custardy. That's funny. Where you at on unctuous?
Unctuous. I've heard unctuous in some of my older books, but I can't remember what it meant. Unctuous means like so you're unctuous about you're thinking about something and you're wary of it. Like he was thinking about it unctuously. Is that how that goes?
I feel like it's a perfect word for exactly what you were just talking about, because if you're talking about people or behavior, it means like smarmy or greasy, like
Yeah.
unctuous motherfucker,
Yeah.
just like a greasy, like fucking,
He's
con
real unctuous.
artist type
Yeah.
guy is unctuous, which isn't good. And so
Right.
insincere. But in food terms, unctuous means like super rich and decadent, like buttery and fatty and that type of thing. That's what unctuous is. So in food, good. Outside of food, bad. Exactly what you're talking. Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Following up on that, what is your least favorite word?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say equality as a joke, but
no, I think it's no. Like the feeling of no. And by the way, I can accept a no, but it does suck. Like most time when you hear no, it's not good. Yeah, no, I don't like the word no. I can accept it.
It's hilarious because it's that. Which one of y'all's New York buddies was it? Had a stand-up
joke. Getman. He said the N-word to a white person is no.
No, yeah. Which is
or
hilarious.
No. Okay, my least favorite word actually is this a word? Shh.
Yeah, I think that's a word. Probably.
I don't like that. And by the way, most every time I've been told it, I deserved it. I just wish they'd have picked a different thing. And like today, this happened. I was at lunch, and I never realize how loud I am. That's me. Yeah. I hate it. Yeah. I hate it. I never know it. And also I have very bad sinus problems, and which attributes to that a lot because my ears have just been plugged for 3 weeks. I was at lunch with my friend and we were talking about something. And the thing we were talking about, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I wasn't talking about fisting an elf or anything like that, but it was whatever. And my buddy goes, "Hey, I'm sorry to say this, but could you just bring the volume down a little bit?" And by the way, it didn't make me mad at him because I knew he was right. I was mad at myself. And I think so many of the things that we get mad at in this world, or we're not mad at somebody else, we're mad that they were right. And so I get mad at because I'm mad that I did a thing that was bad. So I hate shh.
2 good ones, 2 Raven ones, and that's what makes them good. No and shh. That's perfect. I ain't like no one's gonna be surprised. That was your responses.
They don't hit for you, do they?
No, they don't hit for me. No. What? All right. This is one of the ones that Lipton switched up. So an original question: what's your favorite drug? James Lipton's revised question: what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally? So you can answer both of those.
What turns me on creatively, spiritually, and emotionally is fearlessness. It's accepting the pauses and the silence and not being scared of the silence and the pauses. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
because
I hear people say that all the time. I don't have that, so I respect people that do.
You do? No, you don't in your. Well, first off, I don't in my act. Like in my act, you know me, I'm a barrel. I barrel through everything because in my own act, I go, well, the way to avoid silence is to continue. So at least I'm talking. I'll say this: when I'm working on new material, that goes out the window because sometimes I'll have to take a big pause because I don't know where I'm going. And the difference between someone who's an open micer and someone who's a seasoned pro, which you don't even have to think I'm funny. I am a seasoned pro. I might be seasoned in a bad way, but I am a seasoned pro. When I'm working on new material, I can absolutely stop, be silent, take a drink and think, and then go on because I have confidence that I will come back. But like in art, I appreciate the dudes who go, yeah, I'm just going to sit here because I have confidence that this will work, or I don't care if it does because it's what I wanted to put out there. And there you go. I was watching Warfare earlier today, the A24 movie. What?
I've not seen that movie yet, but I've heard enough about it to know that that is a wild fucking midday on a Wednesday choice, especially when you're high as fuck. Like,
well, no, I watched it before I went to lunch.
Okay, all right.
So on Wednesday, Bane gets up to go to school, and so I have to get up really early. So I'm up at like 7. So I try to crack like 2 movies before he gets back from school because like my goal is like 3 movies a day. I try to do like 3 movies a day. And because I'm just like, there's so many that I haven't seen. It's like you're always catching up, So I try to wake up early, watch one late at night, watch one with Amber, And so I threw on Warfare, and I was told like, oh yeah, it's basically just blah, 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 the whole time. And like, that's not true. Like, that's not true at all. Like, the thing that I really appreciated about that movie is like in the first act at about 20 minutes in, there's like a solid 8 minutes where not a motherfucking thing happens, but that silence speaks louder than anything in the rest of the movie because
isn't this essential idea of that movie? So Alex Garland, who's one of my favorites, one of my top dogs right now. A guy who I watch pretty much anything that he does. Having said that, I've not seen this movie yet
I just now watched it today for the first time.
He partnered with a guy who's like an ex-Navy SEAL or an ex-Army guy or something like that. And this movie is supposed to be like the most like true to life representation of realism, what it's like being in a modern warfare situation.
Yeah.
So I've heard people say it's super fucking intense and everything, and it's like there's not a lot of like narrative. It's like you're just in the fucking shit.
It's voyeuristic,
right? But another thing that I've heard a lot of soldiers say about modern warfare is that there's like it stretches of insane nothingness and just boredom and nothing happening or whatever, punctuated by moments of fucking
insanity,
insane violence and chaotic.
So let me couple that with, because it felt real. It felt really real. Like you could, like it was without me. I've never been over there. But like watching this and having watched so many other war things, this one spoke to me because I go, this definitely seems like how it would be. Because like, yeah, every now and then a dude's like, oh, hey, will you take over me on this gun? I got to text my girl back. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, okay. This is like voyeuristic, And I feel the same way about people like Elmore Leonard, who like when you read Elmore Leonard, right? So many people get into purple prose, which I've had to like fucking wean myself off of purple prose, and I know you have too. Like we have a big problem with that, where like we over explain and we like, well, I know it needs to be realistic, but at the same time, if it was super, it's still a movie, whatever, And you read Elmore Leonard, and instead of like the conversation ending with like going like, he said, exclaiming to the bar, it'll just say he said. Like everything is just he said, she said, he said, she said. He lets the words speak for themselves. And like in the show Justified, the reason that I really resonated with it is because that is exactly how that would go down if you had a guy who, he's the law and he's all about justice. But if this guy was somebody he dug coal with, he would treat him different. And there would be this like, fuck, I'm gonna let him get away. And they don't do that in a lot of shows. They don't have a lot of gray area. It's always like good guy, white hat, bad guy, black hat. But Justified was like, no, dude, this is how the real world works. And that's how Elmore Leonard wrote. And a lot of times that doesn't get you as many accolades because people want the extremism. But anybody able to like live in those margins and write in those margins, like that fucking gets my dick hard as fuck.
Hell yeah, that's a good answer. You did not yet answer what your favorite drug is, though.
Oh, I mean, of all time, I'd say, I mean, dude, I loved cocaine. God, I loved it. I loved
So here's
cocaine.
what I thought after I'd already answered this question the other day. In your mind, do you even think about or include booze?
No,
Right.
no,
I
because
wasn't
like,
either, but I feel like if you're gonna I feel like I can't give any other answer,
here's
honestly,
why.
if booze is included,
Yeah,
because
but
I mean,
I'll tell you
I've
why.
I've definitely, done
Here's
more
why.
of it.
I have too. But if cocaine was as readily available and just as legal as booze, I wouldn't fuck with booze as much.
Yeah,
There's my answer.
I guess
Booze
that's
is,
a good
but
point.
because like, what am I supposed to say? Weed? Like weed's, you know what I mean? Like I love the idea that weed is legal and that I can do it and it does mellow me out and that's awesome. But like nothing puts me closer to fucking God than meth, cocaine, and fucking Adderall. And
Yeah,
like of those, I have to go with Coke because like when you do meth and you do Adderall, you're set in for 8 hours. When you do Coke, you could do a line at 5 and then go, fuck it, I need to go to bed at 8, and you could still accomplish that. But you couldn't do that with those other drugs. Cocaine makes me feel like I could fucking do anything, and I often have. But I don't do it anymore because I have a son and they put fentanyl in it.
right.
Oh,
Well,
Molly, though, you was
mhm.
spitting on Molly. Molly, meth, though, man. I think meth's better than Molly.
Right. Well, again, it just any kind of upper stimulant's always been my thing because I'm
Yeah.
such a sleepy-headed Eeyore motherfucker that's
Oh,
what I need.
crack. I love crack. I love
I've never
crack.
had crack, but
Dude, but you know what's funny is like we go, I say cocaine, Adderall, Molly, all this stuff, and it's just like, yeah, whatever. And I say crack, and it's like, oh, that's hilarious. Crack. Dude, crack is just smoking cocaine. You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
Yeah,
that's all it is.
yeah. Isn't it? They do. What do? You take cocaine, put it with
Put it
like
in
baking soda and
baking
stuff,
soda.
baking
Yeah, but
soda,
that's
and
just to spread the
turn it
cocaine
into a
out.
rock. And yeah, but something about it makes it wilder, don't it? I've never had
I
crack.
don't
I've
think
just
so.
heard.
I've smoked coke because I've never had actual crack, but I've smoked cocaine a lot because I was like, well, dude, if like,
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. That ain't the same. I don't know the difference, but there is a difference, right? Like you
yeah, I think
can
it's,
smoke cocaine, but that is not the same thing as smoking crack
well, I always
somehow.
thought it
I
was
don't
more
know.
pure. I thought it was more pure. It was like freebasing it because I thought it was like
Cocaine
crack didn't,
is
yeah,
more
crack
pure.
doesn't.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
is. I
because
think
with crack, you have to have cocaine. You can't just go smoke baking soda and tell me how that feels. Nothing. Right. To me, it was always, I thought it was just to cut it. So you'd have
yeah,
more. It's like you could buy more crack, but but if you just
yeah.
smoked cocaine, most people would not do that because cocaine's so expensive. But I smoked cocaine.
Yeah, I think you're right about all that. I think that your
Yeah.
assessment's pretty accurate.
Smoking cocaine is where it's at. Don't do it, children. But God,
All right.
woo.
This is from Lipton's
Heroin
list.
hit, but I wouldn't do it again.
This is from Lipton's list. What turned you off?
What turns me off is creatively, right?
Well,
That's how my brain.
that's how I read it too, but that's not what it says. Like the first question is what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally, and then the next question he asks is just what turns you off.
Well, what turns me
question mark.
What turns me off is people who just immediately say pass on something that they haven't experienced yet. You know what I mean? Like when someone just writes off an entire genre, an entire artist, or an entire whatever, and then you go, "Well, have you heard their stuff?" And they go, "No, I just know I wouldn't like it." And it's not just with an art, but anything like that. Like don't knock it before you tried it. The opposite of that, I can't stand that. Like if you now, granted, I've never skied, right? I don't shit on people that ski, but I can assume that's not for me. I can assume that's not for me because I'm not an adventurous type, whatever the fuck person. But if I was younger, maybe I should. I'm too old to try it now. You get what I'm saying? Like just the people that have hardcore opinions about things and they've never tried them. Like people where we're from who talk shit about Europe. They've never been. They've never been at all. That irritates me. Like they could go, well, from what I've read, I could tell that this, but they don't. They just go, Europe's a bag of trash. Fuck that place. I'd never want to go. British food is terrible, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hold on. I've been to England and I've had their food. You're right, but I know it and you don't. You're right, but I know it and you don't.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. I can't stand that shit. like people, and it goes into also like people that clearly that comment on something that didn't watch the video, that type of shit. Like I was talking about this the other day with we were talking about it on Well Read. You just weren't there for it because it was me and Brian before you got there. He was talking about guns, right? And I said the easiest way for me to realize that a review of our book was written by someone who didn't read the book is that they would go, fuck these guys. They think that we should have to turn all our guns in. And I'm like, if you read the book, you would realize that the Liberal Redneck Manifesto, by the way, if you read the book, you would realize that the chapter we did on guns was us being very pro guns for your own self-defense and shotguns are fine and hunting rifles are fine. So I know you didn't read it. So like that type of shit, people that just go into situations blind, non-educated.
Early on when I first went viral, I can't remember for sure if this dude was like, if he did for the Knoxville paper what you did for the AJC for a while, like if he did a column or
right, made it worse,
or if he did something else,
got fired.
He either like just worked for the paper and had for a long time, and as someone who worked for the paper for a long time, just wrote an editorial, right. Or he was like a weekly columnist for them the way that you were. I don't remember, but he wasn't just some dude. He worked for the paper in Knoxville. And after I'd first gone viral or whatever, he put an editorial in like the Sunday edition of the Knoxville paper about how much I did not hit. Right. And
really? I'm sure you sent me this at the time.
Yes, I know I did because it opens with him saying, now I haven't watched any of his videos because I don't. And it was something like, because I've seen it all before or something like that.
No, but you haven't.
And I was like, is this not completely insane to open something? Like, it's so wild to me that a person could do that and not realize how, like, you know, delegitimizing immediately that is, or discrediting that is to most people, or at least I hope that it is. But it's also just like immediately betrays that the problem you have with me is, you know, based on just whatever your own, you know, opinions are, whatever, without any basis in what I'm doing.
Why are you even writing
You can watch my shit and hate every minute of it.
That's fine.
Like, you know,
but how are you? How are you writing this?
I know.
How are you writing this? You just saw a thumbnail. You know what? I'm glad you said that because this makes me need to say this. Like the way that I said it, of like all these people who just think that what happens in their little town is the only thing and they fucking hate your. It goes the other way too, with the elites looking down on small town stuff, right? Like it goes that way too. Like all the people who like, they immediately write off a whole fucking section of the world because of one thing that somebody did. And you go, well, they're like that fucking lady in San Francisco that asked you how you got to college. Like, I think there's so many of those people that exist where they're just like, wait a minute, you lived in the South, but you got educated. What? Like anyone who just doesn't take the fuck, cause dude, and you can agree. I know you'll agree with this. Of all my friends and of all the people I associate with, I'm the dumbest one. I'm a fucking idiot. But even me, like I take the time to look at the world outside of my world and inside my world and appreciate it. And like, there's a reason I still live in my hometown, even though I disagree with so many of the things. Like, just fucking open your goddamn brain, man. Whether you're somebody that lives in a small town and you need to open your brain to the fact that Muslims exist and love everybody and have great communities, or you're in a fucking utopia like New York and you need to open your mind to the fact that small towns also have values and everybody there isn't a fucking idiot that hasn't gone to college. Like, just fucking, it really turns me off if you've got a fucking just such a homogenized worldview. That turns me off so much, and it makes me want you to die.
Heard that. All right, we're going to take our second break and then come back and finish this right after this.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, you know, Trae, it's still January. I mean, it's a little late in the month, but it is still January. And in January, you start thinking about new year, new me, all this stuff you either want to add to your life, more fiber, or cut out of your life. You know, I don't know, having to go to the gas station every day and get an energy drink, which will inevitably make me buy M&Ms and all sorts of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to drink as much caffeine as I normally do. I don't want to have to be puffing on my nicotine inhaler as much as I do. I don't want to have to steal as much of my wife's Adderall as I do, but I still want that little boost. And that's why I like Ultra pouches. Ultra pouches are just a little thing that I stick in my mouth that replicates something I used to stick in my mouth, which I don't stick in my mouth as much anymore. It's a little pouch, goes right here. It is completely nicotine free. It is caffeine free. It is packed with, here's the deal, nootropics. Trae, you familiar with nootropics?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, things that make your brain hit.
So things that make your brain hit, right? So like mental clarity, enhanced focus, which is the same thing that I'm looking for in all these other things, except they are stimulants, which often, Trae, means that I can't sleep, right? And when I can't sleep, I find it's a never-ending cycle. Oh, I take caffeine because I can't sleep, but I can't sleep because I take caffeine. You know what I mean? None of that stuff with Ultra pouches. And it was one of the best New Year goals that I've had. I haven't had a straight-up energy drink in almost 3 weeks, which is insane for me because I used to bang them just all the time. And now I feel more sharp. I feel more focused. I mean, I look good. Look at me. Do you think a not focused person dressed like this today? Tell me. Say it. Be honest.
No, I don't.
I didn't think you thought that. Well, Ultra is the ultimate guilt-free pouch delivering instant focus and mental clarity without nicotine, without caffeine. New customers can use code POA and get 15% off at takeultra.com. That's takeultra.com. Okay. 15% off, code POA. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. And if you want to add in there, God, Corey is so convincing he should have been a preacher. Go ahead. That is takeultra.com. Promo code POA. Skew.
Well, we just came out of the holidays, didn't we? Holidays always go hard on a man and a woman physically, all the good food, all the traveling, general familial chaos and everything. It really knocks you off of your health and fitness goals. And it happens to all of us. You don't have to feel bad about it, but we're all getting older too. And one thing I've noticed is as you get older, it's harder and harder to rebound from that. And also the holiday spree that we all go on takes a bigger and bigger toll on your body the older you get. But it's January now, so time to get back into the swing of things. All right, but in 2026, don't just get back to your normal healthy routine. Try to help this old bag of bones of yours turn back the clock a little bit.
Sack of coal.
That's right. You might not realize this, but things that happen to our body as we get older, like, you're stiff when you wake up in the morning. It takes longer to recover from a workout. Your hair starts to thin. Your nails start to break.
Kidneys just hurt for no reason.
You just lose that smooth glow that you used to have in your youth. All those things. Yeah, none of that hits, right? Well, here's what you might not know. Those things can be fixed. That's right. Those things happen. Maybe not the kidney thing Cho said, but the things I said happen because your body's collagen levels naturally decline as you get older. That's one of the myriad things that sucks about aging. Collagen is referred to as the glue that holds our bodies together. It's in all your joints and all that stuff. So a decline in collagen production has big impacts all over your body, but that's where Bubs Naturals collagen peptides come in. Bubs, that's Bubs. Bubs helps restore collagen levels closer to what your body naturally had in your youth. So your joints get stronger, your hair and nails get healthier, your skin looks smoother and brighter. I started adding Bubs.
Big Knuckles tastes so good, I think.
I think you're right. That's why, we love to eat them bones, baby. There's a reason for that. But since I started putting Bubs Naturals collagen, it's a tasteless, odorless, flavorless powder that I just add to my daily protein shake with everything else I put in there, the little hodgepodge concoction that I brew up. I started adding Bubs to it every day, and it's got me look, my hair's always kind of hit, let's be honest.
It really has. It's a point of derision for me, frankly.
Yes. Gotten thicker, feels brighter, skin's doing good, popping off. Bubs has added a whole new meaning to New Year, New Me by helping me feel that much younger. And like I said, it's super easy to use. I put it in a protein shake. You can put it in your morning coffee, juice, water. It doesn't matter, whatever. It's just a tasteless, odorless powder that dissolves instantly with no clumps and no weird aftertaste. Here's what really makes Bubs different as a brand, though. The brand itself is a tribute to former Navy SEAL Glenn Bub Doherty, a national hero who gave his life saving Americans in Benghazi, Libya. Glenn's call sign was Bub, and he was the kind of guy who always pushed for self-improvement and helped everyone around him. And that DNA is woven into the brand Bubs. And to honor him, Bubs donates 10% of all profits to charity. starting with the Glenn Doherty Memorial Foundation. On top of that, Bubs is built to the highest standard. There's no junk, there's no sugars, sweeteners, no fillers. Third-party tested, NSF certified for sport, Whole30 approved, sustainably sourced from grass-fed, pasture-raised cattle. It's trusted by over 100,000 customers and was named the best collagen of 2024 by Health.com. Bubs Naturals does not just make the cleanest and most effective collagen peptides in the world. They also sell electrolyte supplements, MCT oil creamer, and many more products. And every one of their products made only with clean ingredients and are all third-party tested. So you know you can trust them. Live
Ross
better
Perot
longer.
tested these chemicals, folks.
Oh, third party, I get it. Yes, that's what he was. Can I finish, Corey? Can I finish? Live better longer and kick 2026 off the right way. Bubs is running a huge New Year, New You sale. Plus, for a limited time only, our listeners are getting 20% off at Bubs Naturals by using the code POA at checkout. Just head to BUBS Naturals, bubsnaturals.com, and use the code POA, and you're all set. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that POA sent you. Bubs, give it a shot.
Whew. Boy, I tell you what, guys, I got to talk about something that I would have killed if we had learned in school. Is he talking about financial literacy? That too. Okay, sure. But no, I mean the fact that when you hit 34, and for me, it was definitely around that age, and now I'm 38. But when you hit 34, everything just all of a sudden gets harder, and you don't see it coming because you think, oh, I'm a young guy, I'm just in my 30s or whatever. But no, like your body is just not built to continue to hit as long as we need it to hit. And I'm talking about not just the gym stuff is harder, everything's harder. Getting out of bed, just, rolling around on the floor with my kid. Your energy crashes at 2 p.m. That's like my normal. That's not supposed to happen to you when you're 34. And I think we get in that sort of zone where we're just like, oh, I'm middle-aged, whatever. But it's that part we're supposed to hit harder, So I went down the internet rabbit hole trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And luckily, we have a great sponsor here, okay? Our friends at Mars hooked me up so fat because I didn't realize that, my testosterone's starting to just, sink a little bit, which makes a lot of sense if you look at me and have, hung out with me. It's like, yeah, that dude's definitely low T. But doctors are acting, like TRT is no big deal, just weekly shots for the rest of your life. Well, I don't want to have to go in and get a weekly shot for the rest of my life. So our friends at Mars has hooked me up. Going in the new year, I'm turning the clock back, making things easier on my body the natural way, okay, with ingredients like Tongkat Ali, Shilajit, zinc, boron. Always been a big boron guy that support healthy T levels, stamina, and recovery. It's also made in the USA. It's also third-party tested. 90-day money-back guarantee. So there's literally no risk. Worst case scenario, you don't love it. You get your money back. I've had a lot more energy. I've had this just when I wake up, I'm immediately just on, which I used to just not have. Okay. So for a limited time, our listeners can get 50% off for life, by the way, not just this order, for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts when you check out. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them that Puttin on Air sent you. All right. Get your testosterone hitting. Skew.
All right, we're back. So next up, this one. I feel like I feel like you probably got this locked and loaded, but I could also see you really waffling on this one. And it's not about waffles. What's your favorite curse word?
God damn.
Yeah,
I just love God. I know, and I agree with you. And whenever I asked you all these questions, I on purpose didn't go into my own thing because I knew I wanted you to ask me. But to me, goddamn, the reason for me that it's my favorite is because it's the one I definitely wasn't supposed to say as a kid.
Right.
Of all of them, don't get me wrong, I grew up Southern Baptist and in the South. They don't want you to say any of them, but they can forgive a fucking shit and whatever. But if you say God damn, they think that you've been in the park late at night worshiping with Satanists, and therefore it was the most attractive to me because even friends I knew that cussed wouldn't say it,
Yeah, I know. Fire. It was almost like a cuss word version or an inverse cuss word version of the Christian girls that would only get fucked in their butts or whatever.
Yes,
The poop hole
100%.
loophole.
It is the
It's like
poop
an
hole
inverse
loophole.
version of it, where it's like you'll say
Yeah.
fucking shit and all this other stuff, but
Right.
but goddamn is a problem.
But you know what always frustrated me is that those people. I think Caleb Sinan has a bit on this, and he's a friend of the show, friend of both shows. But I think he has a bit on this. But actually, I know he does, because when I saw it, I fucking called him and I said, "Dude, fuck you for getting there first," because I've always had this thought, which is basically like all the people who they'll say like, "Gosh darn," right? Mm-hmm. It's like, do you think you tricked God? But with "gosh darn," at least you're not saying either one of those. The people that to me really piss me off are when they'll say "God darn," right? Yeah, and here's the reason that pisses me off. The God is the sin of it, not the damn. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's the God part that's the sin. It's taking the Lord's name in vain. So saying "God darn" is the same as saying "God damn." Like, damn doesn't mean anything. It's the whole taking the Lord's name in vain is the problem, but they think they're fooling them. And I say "God damn."
Well, how about this though? Because I remember the first time it's ever occurred to me as a Lord hating, young wannabe intellectual edgelord in Salina, Tennessee. I hadn't thought about this in years, but I remember when in the Matrix, the Matrix, when Cypher betrays them all.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
And kills like everybody.
Yeah.
And then Trinity gets him on the phone or whatever. Like, why did you do this? That scene. And she says, "God damn you, Cypher."
Yeah.
Right. For this. And that was the first time that it ever occurred to me that, like,
yes, I know what you're about to say.
Depending on the context of how you use it,
it's not taking his name in vain because you mean it.
It's saying like, may the good Lord above, the person who has the ability to damn people and things to hell, may that entity do that to you. I hope God damns you to hell for being the piece of shit that you are, or whatever. And so I feel like, depending on how you really think about it or the context and when it's used, it's not using the Lord's name in vain,
I could not agree more. And I made that argument to my mother when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I said, if you just don't want me to say "God damn," say that. I said, but when you said "don't take the Lord's name in vain," I said, I assure you, I want God to damn my principal. Right. I want him to damn him. I'm not saying it in vain. I mean that with my chest.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What sound or noise do you love? And then what sound or noise do you hate? We'll put those two together.
I mean, I hate to be a basic bitch, but a sound I really like is I love it.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
When somebody cracks one, even if it's not me, when somebody cracks one, I love it. I also love the a lot of people don't. A lot of people, because it sounds sexual, but like when you're sloshing pasta in the bowl, like macaroni, that I fucking love it. I love it. Sound I hate is my wife's tires pulling into the house. No, I'm kidding. Sound I hate is that because that's always someone about to go, well, when I'm in a meeting and someone goes, like I go, fuck, I thought I spitting, like I can't, it's a version of no.
Yeah, I know. I get it. Yeah.
Right before the no.
Yeah.
But also it's not a word. Shh, hate that too. But like, sound. I mean, dude, everybody hates nails on a chalkboard, obviously. I don't hate, there's like a whole thing where it's like, there's certain people who like, they have a phobia of people chewing, like you can't stand
apparently, as podcasters, apparently people get fucking furious if you eat something on a microphone.
But for me, it's
because they just can't handle it.
Yeah, for me, it's just the way Amber chews. Like she chews like a fucking, like a horse.
It's a cow with a cud.
But work like a cow that they've restricted it somehow. Like she chews and like I know she's having a good time and I fucking hate it. Like she eats like a fucking idiot. Like I don't know that her coming home and eating. I hate those sounds.
Yeah. All right. Who would you like to see on a banknote? That's one that James Lipton ixnayed from his list.
Yeah. So we're not counting the coins because I think that FDR belongs on a note, but he's not on a note. He's on a coin. Yeah, and I think that if we're doing presidents, because like Franklin's on there and he's not even a president, but I think if we're doing presidents, like he's the one lone wolf that's off of our money that kind of should be. And I know why. It's like, well, we'd already established our money and he was a president. Like those older presidents get a really easy pass to it because like they were presidents and then we made money, you know? So like, of course, but like to me, I know why you don't get rid of Washington. Regardless of what we know about the guy, he still was the first president and you can't take that away from him, right? But I just feel like, I mean, who's on the 10? Hamilton? Who's on the 10?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Fuck Hamilton. Put FDR on the 10. I also feel like, though, you know, we talked about this last week when you were doing it. Do we do who I like or do we do who represents the country the most? And in that regard, I think that Alan Greenspan deserves to be on some money. And I think that who was that motherfucker Vietnam? Kissinger. I think Kissinger and Greenspan should probably be on money because they were more influential than any of those presidents were. Dick Cheney should probably be on a nickel.
Yeah, nickel dick. Old nickel dick. Old nickel dick Cheney. Okay, I'm going to combine these two as well. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt, and then what profession would you not like to do?
The only thing that I think, and by the way, let me start this out by saying I don't think I'd be great at it. It's just the only one where I think if I did it, I wouldn't blow my brains out, and that is history teacher. Whether it be, and it would have to be at the high school or college level, because I need, like, obviously I know high schoolers can be assholes, but if the high schooler's an asshole, I can give them shit back. And by that point, their parents already know that they're an asshole. So they'll be like, yeah, you got, like, if I'm doing elementary school, I've seen what my wife has gone through, you know, where like the kid's a piece of shit, but the parent won't accept it. But at least in high school, like, surely they know by now. I'd have to teach older kids, and mainly because I'd want to talk about more serious subjects. You're probably not going to talk about Auschwitz with second graders, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't even think, I mean, in most schools, they don't even, if you're teaching little kids, you said history teacher. There's not a, you know what I mean? You're not a history teacher who teaches history to second graders. You're just a second grade teacher.
Grade history. Yeah,
which
exactly.
Means, no, not history.
Right. You're just a second grade teacher. Yeah.
You have to teach all that shit.
Yeah. No,
so and then even when it gets specialized in like because I have junior high kids right now.
Yeah.
It's like social studies, you know.
Yeah.
Which is,
I mean, if I could pick, like, if you just go like, you can just do this, it would be like, yeah, history teacher at like, maybe not like an actual Ivy League school, but like one of the Southern Ivies, you know, like Sewanee or something like that. Like, cause I would like to still, like, everything about me suggests that I want to just live here the rest of my life. And I do. Like, I like, you know me, like, I love, like, Boston's one of my favorite cities. DC is one of my favorite cities. Like, I love exploring the country, but as far as like having my roots, I want to be like in the South. Cause like, I mean, I just feel more comfortable here. Like, I just know how it works. So like, being a history professor at Sewanee genuinely sounds like a dream. And like, obviously I can't snap my fingers and do it, but like, if I had the thought at 5 years old, at 5 years old, I had the thought, I want to be a comedian. And I did everything in my life to do that. If I'd have had the thought when I was 5 years old, I want to be the history professor at Sewanee, I have no doubt that I would have done that. I have no doubt in my mind that I would have done that. And I think that
in my experience, you would have had to have also not ever cared about comedy at all or whatnot.
No. That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Is like, if that was my
I did have all that. Like I said, I think I probably would be a professor or some kind of academic if I had no interest in show business, but I always did, and so it was like it just
Yeah, I would
trumped
have to.
everything. So I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
would
if
have.
you'd have to want that, but also not this.
You're correct. You're correct. You're correct in that, especially
Because
because like
this
this,
stupid shit fucking wins out every
it
time in
wins
my
out.
experience. You just
And,
can't, you know.
and I mean, dude, this whole show, my entire role on this show is proof that that shit hits for me because like the reason that I like doing this show is like I love learning about stuff and then telling you, well, if you were 350 people, I'd still want to do it. You know what I mean? Like I love it. And matter of fact, like one of my like I just got asked like at the end of February, I'm doing a 3-day class at the University of Arkansas. I'm teaching uh comedy through history and comedy psychology. And I was asked because the guy, and I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know if he wants to get in trouble, but like he listens to this show and he's like, you clearly, he's like, y'all talk about history a lot. He goes, but I can tell like your fucking dick is hard when you like, he goes, you really get into it and you like making your little syllabuses. And I'm like, I do. I fucking really like it. So that, the thing I couldn't do is I could not work in just straight sales.
Yeah.
I couldn't work.
And it's a shame
I've done
too,
it
because it's like
before.
I'm about to say
We
that
do.
to me, well, yeah, that also is part of it. Yes, it's part of what we do. Is you're kind of inside. You have to sell yourself all the time. But
Yeah.
no, I was gonna say
I'd be
that seems
good
like
at it.
something you'd be really good
I
at.
would.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that doesn't, but to me, that doesn't have
Yeah.
anything to do with it. Like there's plenty of things I'd be good at that I would hate, you know, like I worked in retail my whole life and like they would ask me to like sell some shit that I didn't believe in. And like, I go, are you going to pay me more? Is there commitment? Like, no, I'm like, well, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not a liar. Like, I can sell you something, but I have to believe at least a little bit of it so that I can fucking say it. And also, like, I'm not the type of person who prides myself on seeing people be removed from their money. You know what I mean? Like, unless they really needed it. Like, I'm not a guy that's like, I fucking got them. You know, I upsold them on the. I'm not like, I don't like those fucking like when you see like, there's two types of people that saw Wolf of Wall Street. There's the type of person that realizes every single person in this movie is a huge piece of shit, and this is a cautionary tale. And then there's some people that were like, this is the blueprint for my life. And
Uh-huh.
I'm friends with a lot of the dudes that thought it was the blueprint for their life. And by the way, they're not doing great right now. Not all of them, you know. But I look at that and I'm like, yeah, I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not going to sit here and talk you into a fucking bullshit stock that I don't believe in because just so I can take money out of your pocket and put it in mine. For me, if I'm going to take money out of your pocket and put it in mine, I'm going to give you something fucking awesome. Whether it be a TV show, whether it be this article I wrote, whether it be my stand-up special, whatever. Like, it needs to be an even trade, and I don't like non-even trades.
We have 2 questions left. First, if you were reincarnated as some other plant or animal, not a person, a plant or animal, what would it be? Who's picking plant? But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, right. There's no way I'm picking plant. The only lady's like, oh, I just want to have bees come on my head every day. I think if I had to be I mean, I like to think I'd be a dog. You know, I like a country dog. I'd want to be a country. Now, not so country that if my knee gets shot, they throw
That
me off
you
a bridge.
round up black
Yeah.
people in the woods.
Yeah. Don't put a hood
Being
over
spurred
me.
on by men
Yeah,
in
yeah,
hoods.
yeah,
An old country dog,
yeah.
like a bloodhound.
But just no, I mean, just like you know how like no new country, like how dudes that like live around here, they have a lot of land, but they don't really like farm on it or nothing. They just have a bunch of land, and they have like a golden retriever that just kind of like hangs out in the yard and just sprints from end to end and catches fucking. I could roll with that because that would be like all your needs are met, everything's cool. So that's if I'm being a domestic animal. Now, if I'm gonna have to be an animal that has to like get it for myself, silverback gorilla. That would be fire. I'd be a silverback gorilla because two options, silverback gorilla. You're either the king of the fucking jungle, beating the fuck out of everybody, or they take you to the zoo and jack you off. You know? Dolphin. Oh, dolphin. Dolphin. Wait, does dolphin have a natural predator?
I was just thinking that myself. I mean, I don't think that they do.
Then I'll be a dolphin because you want to be something that
orcas, because
doesn't have.
you know how orcas be throwing down with everybody, but
owl
they
would
do.
hit.
Yep, large sharks like great whites and tiger sharks hunt and kill dolphins and orcas.
Okay, well, fuck, I'll be a shark,
bro. Orcas,
no, but they can't stop. But sharks can't
don't
stop,
give a fuck.
No, being an orca would kind of be wild because, like, also when you're hungry, you just go like that's all you do. Like you don't have to. You just go and everything goes in.
No, no.
You're always around fish.
You're thinking of a filter feeder whale, like a blue whale.
Yeah, that one would hit.
Those are the whales that just go.
That would hit though, right?
Yeah, but orcas, they organize squads and fucking make targeted attacks on fucking prey and take them out. You know, they put a lot of work into eating. They're the ones
they're the ones that organize targeted hits on yachts, right?
Lately, yeah.
Okay, I want to be an orca. They're fucking anti-authoritarian. They get to eat because one of my dude. If I could afford to just eat raw sashimi every day, I'd do it. Well, they get to. They get to do that, and then they're just like, man, that fucking boat, they've been fucking circling around here, and they just get their fucking Joe Pesci homies to be like, get the fuck over here, you son of a bitch, been out here for this, and you just fucking, whale. I'll be one of them.
Last one. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
No one ever heard you say the N-word. No. What I would like to hear.
And then he winks.
Yeah. So funny. If when I get to the pearly gates, what would I like to hear God say? Hey, buddy, well done. There's a fat Latina in your room.
Love it.
Yeah. Because you already said you're right. You were right about everything. Obviously, that'd be good, but I want something that serves me more, and I think it would be there's a fat Latina in your room, and churros as long as you want. What a fucking life. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, good answers. That's it. That's it for the James Lipton questionnaire. James Lipton / Bernard Pivot questionnaire. So, you got any airmail for us, Joe?
Yeah, I can get some right now. Why wouldn't I be able to? Well, I'll tell you why. Because my fingers don't work. Primary. Here we go. Okay. Subject line: writing and books and stuff. Hey guys, as I know, you were both writers. And judging by Corey's obsession with GOT, I assume that's Game of Thrones, you also appreciate sci-fi and fantasy. You might like to check out a site called Royal Road, a site where people self-publish all kinds of books. And she says essays. What is it? Sexual assaults? What is essays? In the world? Well,
I mean, world. It literally, so obviously an essay is very well known. I know. For me, I don't see it. So you just said essays, books and essays, and you're like, essay? What the fuck's an essay? She's right. I am an author, love being an author. Never heard of an essay though.
But it's not that though.
I know, but you're saying she spelled it capital S, capital A.
Capital S, capital A, not even an apostrophe S, essays.
Maybe,
why would anyone do that?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe she just means
I've never heard anybody abbreviate essays.
Maybe is that a thing?
That's what I'm saying.
If you Google it, I think that maybe this person. I think they just mean essays, and whether it was just a brain fart that made them write that out as the letter S, the letter A.
Okay,
or if they don't know that the word essays is not those two letters put together, they've never known that their whole life. I don't know.
I'm used to abbreviations in writing stuff because if I see FF, I go fan fiction. If I see sci-fi, I'm like science fiction. So when I see SA, I'm like, that's sexual assault.
It is sexual assault. I mean, that is, people commonly abbreviate that as essay for sure. But in that
Okay.
context, in reading it out loud, I feel like they almost have to mean just
Sure.
essays, like
Yeah.
fucking like
It's
Sedaris writes.
you're only saving yourself like 3 letters.
Again,
You know
I
what I
think
mean? Like you're
I
only
feel like it almost has to be a situation where their whole life, I imagine them hearing this right now and being like, "Oh shit,
Oh
that's not how
God.
that's
Yeah.
spelled." You know,
Right.
because like their whole life they've just thought that the word essay, when someone's like, "Oh, it's got a lot of great essays in it," their brain always heard that as the letter S, the letter A, essay.
Okay. Well, I
Because
don't know.
otherwise, I don't know how to make sense of that.
Well,
I mean,
because after this, I must admit I have personal reasons for recommending the site, as my daughter is currently writing a book called First Level Farm Girl. So this person clearly knows about literature and all that stuff. First Level Farm Girl, check it out. Lots of swords and monsters and cool shit. She is publishing it chapter by chapter. So she's doing a serial. I love that. I love serials. People should do more of those. That's how the original Sherlock Holmeses were, by the way. They were put out as serials month by month. She's about halfway finished with the first volume. I would love it if you guys could check it out and give your thoughts, as I am obviously biased. Love you guys and all your podcasting books. Skew. Okay, well, everybody check that out. First Level Farm Girl. I've been with a couple third level farm girl. You know what I'm saying?
no, that's right.
Okay, here we go. Subject line: the Barkley Marathons. Man, what a wild episode that was. Thank you for bringing that up to me. Hey, fellas, talk about an episode where you're screaming at the podcast. Great. Y'all actually captured the vibe of the Barkleys well, but I wanted to add some context. This is not a running event. I'm a former competitive marathoner. Barkley is more of a wayfinding test mixed with extreme endurance challenges. You're not allowed to wear a GPS watch, and it's not a marked trail. The way you prove you completed a loop is by pulling a page out of a book that was stashed along the route. Some of the best ultra marathoners in the world, dudes who can run 100 miles at a pace faster than most people can run around their block, can't finish Barkley. That's the point. Barkley's competitors don't finish because they're looking for a book at 3 a.m. in the East Tennessee wilderness after running 50 miles. Long story short, Laz Lake is a psycho, but that's also why some of us follow closely every spring to see if there's a new finisher. Major kudos to Jasmine Paris, the woman who proved a female could do it. Love y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. Andy in Dallas.
So I knew that books were somehow involved. I was trying to read through these articles and Wikipedia pages and stuff and to try to get across like the exact format of it. And I could tell that books were somehow involved, but I was like, what they have to find a book. But also, so I appreciate them clearing that up. But the other thing about that is like the way I am, and my bugaboos and things that piss me off, I could be, and I will never, but you could snap your fingers and use magic to turn me into one of the best ultra marathoners on planet Earth.
Right.
And I would lose my shit and hate every second of the whole, where the fuck is this goddamn fucking book at 3 a.m. in the woods? Absolutely. Fuck the running part and the climbing part and the not being able to breathe part and all that shit. Yeah. Fuck all that. But putting all that aside, that one element of like, where did I put that fucking book? Kill me now.
I do that every day.
A woman who just puts shit anywhere the fuck she wants to put it.
Oh my God.
No one in my house ever knows where anything is. And I am a, how do you say it? Mise en place or whatever, the French term for everything in its place.
Yeah.
I'm that type of person, but no one else in my house respects that.
Me? So God,
so
bro,
shit.
Me too.
So I'm always like, hey, so this was right here. I left it right here and now it's not. So can someone please tell me where it now is? And every other person in my house is like, what are you talking about? I don't know. How would I know that? When one of them has moved it.
Because if they didn't, it would be right here.
Exactly. And just doesn't fucking know where. And I live my life in a perpetual state of like, nobody in this house knows where fucking anything is. Fucking everything. So anyway, fuck that part of those races is all I'm saying. That's like my own personal hell is having me try to like, oh, you're not just running all the time. You have to stop and find a lost item every fucking 8 hours or whatever. Fuck that, dude.
Bro,
no.
Amber does that shit to me all the time where I'll wake up, I'll be looking for some shit and I'll be like, she's like, what are you looking for? And I'm like, my fucking insert whatever here. And she goes, oh, it's up on that third shelf that we never put anything on behind the thing that you didn't know existed and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why? And she goes, well, it's just a better spot for it. And I'm like, that's fine. But you have to tell me if you take, like, it might be my wallet. It's like you have to, if you take a thing that I need in my life and you move it from a place I know where it's at to a place that no way I could fucking know, you got to clue me in on that before I fucking, and they don't, and it fucking pisses me off. And then, God damn it, though, you try to move some of their fucking, you try to fucking be like, I don't want the flower to be right here. Well, this is where it fucking go. Oh, it's hell. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, last one. Subject line, Titanic, F1, and tinned fish. Oh, my. Hey, guys, you can call me Janie. I've been a fan of both of you for a while. Have seen you perform together in Nashville and Trae in Boston and love all the Skewniverse podcasts. Thank you for all you do. I haven't written in before, but mean to all the time. So this time I'm finally going to do it. Since Titanic comes up a lot, I thought you might appreciate this Titanic-related nugget that I don't think most of us ever think about. My great-grandfather immigrated to America from Greece in the 1910s. I recently found out that he was actually making the journey on a different ship from Europe mid-trip when the Titanic sank. When he arrived in New York City, he was detained at port for 3 days, denied entry, and put back on a ship to sail back to Europe, which means he made 2 cross-Atlantic trips within days of the Titanic sinking. I would think that the Titanic news would have been the hot goss when arriving in New York City, and can't imagine how crappy it would feel to immediately have to board a ship after hearing that news to make the journey back. Me either. But maybe I'm wrong and life was so shitty back then, he didn't give it a second thought. I bet that's it. Why wouldn't the ship crash? Right. After all, he made the journey one last time 6 months later to move here permanently. Second, way back in the early days of POA, you did an episode, I think, about NASCAR and Formula One. A lot of the F1 info was wrong or questionable. Just want to mention, I love that people are like, 5 years ago, you don't hit. Just want to mention, you might want to reach out to the F1 podcast hosts of P1 with Matt and Tommy and do a collab segment to redeem yourself from that F1 episode. They are good-natured, and I think it would be a fun conversation, and they are from England, so they also have cool accents, and I think that would hit for you. I also think that would hit for us. Lastly, I think tin fish has been mentioned a few times in episodes, but did you know that Vogue has published multiple articles about tin fish that started a whole tin fish trend the past couple of years? I didn't know that. A trendy brand, Fishwife, with super cute packaging, got so popular, it is now sold at my local Target. When I heard about this trend, of course, I looked into it, and then And then I found out the second part that I think oh, never mind. I thought when I saw my name Corey, and I thought she was about to say, I saw this fucking dude that does 10 fish reviews, and I thought it was Corey. And then I found out about this second part that I think Corey in particular would love. Did you know that there are all these fancy antique silver fish tongs and forks for serving sardines and other fish specifically from tins? Yes, I did. Yes, I own them. You should have a look on Etsy or Reddit, but be warned, they are so charming that I may have just introduced you to a new antique for you to collect. The trash and posh worlds collide again. Love you guys, and thank you for all the laughs. Keep it up, Janie. P.S. Attaching a pic of my great-grandfather, a cool pic I took during the F1 U.S. Grand Prix in Austin in 2013, and a picture of my silver tin fish serveware to add some flavor to my email. So here is the pretty sweet F1 pick. Look how badass that car is. Not bad. Here is her fuck my ass. Here's her papaw that almost was on the Titanic. Dapper individual there. Boy, and that was him probably just going to get the mail. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just like going to get the mail.
He was also a Greek peasant piece of trash, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, dude, he was a piece of shit. They would definitely kick him out of the country now. No offense, I wouldn't, but like, yeah, he was a fucking foreigner, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And these are the fish, the little tin fish thing, which I have that fork in the middle. I have one that looks similar to that. I don't have the ones that have fish on top, but that is nice. There we go, Trae. Great episode.
Absolutely. As always. It was a good time. Thanks for listening. Come see me on the road, TraeCrowder.com, Birmingham and Atlanta coming up in February, and a bunch more after that. So yeah, TraeCrowder.com.
Okay, yeah, CoreyWritesForYou.com. That's where I publish my essays and my diaries and all that stuff. So you can go there and get that. And also come see me in Asheville, North Carolina this weekend at the Eulogy. And then February 15th at Hendershots in Athens, Georgia. Trae, I have to show you this real quick because I'll forget. I uploaded this video just for you. It's very short. Earlier, I went to that late lunch, and then I came home, and I was bragging on my son at that lunch about how smart he was, right? You know how you do that. You're like, oh, my kid's so smart. Then I walked in the door, and I immediately saw this, which is my son taking after his mother and practicing being blind. Check this out.
Boyo.
Say surprise.
This motherfucker.
Hilarious.
Dude, watch him. He's like, skirt? No, skirt? He's getting
He knows what he's about.
He knows. But dude, he can't see shit right now.
I mean, he's doing good. Well, too soon. There it is.
You did it, buddy.
Isn't that fucking great? All right.
Absolutely
Stay fancy,
classic.
motherfuckers.
Stay fancy, motherfuckers. Skew-wee.
Skew. Here's Lydia Lovelace.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Royalty and rednecks are alike. They both like cutting and picking fights. Biscuits and baked beans where they don't belong. Sit on down with Corey and Trae and learn some fancy shit today. We'll laugh a little even when they're wrong. They'll take you to a magical place where if you call someone a cunt, nobody cares. They keep it debonair at putting on airs, putting on airs, putting on